Aun'Shi, also known as the Hero of Theovash, is a famed and highly venerated member of the Tau Empire's Ethereal caste. Despite being an Ethereal, Aun'Shi is known to have a mindset that is arguably closer to that of the more militant Fire caste, as the Ethereal will regularly accompany squads of Fire warriors as they partake in various training exercises and battle rituals, in addition to fighting alongside them upon the battlefield, where he is even known to lead his forces directly from the front lines. While the majority of the Fire caste is known to favour the use of ranged weaponry in combat, so as to take advantage of their often superior firepower, Aun'Shi by contrast is famous amongst the Tau for his preference and expertise in the art of hand-to-hand combat. Indeed, Aun'Shi's martial prowess is so well known that many within the Tau Empire have declared him to be the undisputed master of the blade. So lionized has Aun'Shi become throughout the Tau Empire that wherever the Ethereal goes, he is greeted with thunderous cheers, respectful salutes, and deep bows of respect, with some of the more superstitious members of the Fire caste even viewing Aun'Shi in a manner akin to that of a lucky talisman, believing that his arrival is a sign that victory is assured. Even the renegade Tau of the Farsight Enclaves, who are known to view the Ethereal caste with both disdain and open hostility, are known to respect Aun'Shi for his many accomplishments upon the field of battle, even if only begrudgingly. Despite his unparalleled skill at arms, in addition to the many victories and honours that he had acquired during his long service to the Empire, Aun'Shi remains a modest and humble warrior. And while the Ethereal is more than willing to continue fighting for the sake of the Empire and the greater good, Aun'Shi longs for nothing more than a peaceful future for his people. One of Aun'Shi's greatest accomplishments would occur upon the colony world of Keltir, with the defense of Theovash. As Aun'Shi conducted a routine assessment within the mining settlement of Theovash, which was due to be the Ethereal's final undertaking before entering retirement, the town would unexpectedly be besieged by a vast horde of orcs. The war boss of this horde would slay the Fire caste commander within Theovash, an act that would begin to throw the Tau into disarray. It was at this moment that Aun'Shi himself would enter the fray, bisecting the orc with a single blow from his honor blade, granting the surviving fire warriors enough time to recover their composure and establish a firing line. As the battle raged on, the Ethereal would go on to both reassure and inspire his men with both his actions and oratory skills. Thanks to Aun'Shi's efforts, the forces of Theovash were able to hold the line against the orcs, and before long, a number of Tau reinforcements would arrive at Theovash and successfully eliminate the remaining greenskins. Much to the surprise of the Tau, the view that greeted them was that of Aun'Shi standing atop a mound of orc corpses with his blade drenched in their blood, as he continued to safeguard those surviving fire warriors under his command. It was this act that would earn Aun'Shi the title, the Saviour of Theovash, and the Ethereal Supreme would decree that Aun'Shi would not enter retirement, as now more than ever, the Tau Empire needed heroes to inspire the common people, and thus, Aun'Shi would continue to serve for the greater good. Following Commander Farsight's defection from the Tau Empire and the subsequent founding of an independent Tau domain known as the Farsight Enclaves, Aun'Shi would be selected by the Ethereal Council to lead an expedition into the heart of the Enclaves in order to repatriate Farsight and in turn reintegrate the Enclave worlds back into the fold of the Tau Empire. Aun'Shi was more than happy to undertake this task, as the Ethereal also sought to learn and hopefully understand the true reasoning behind Farsight's actions. Upon arriving at the world of Arthas Moloch, Aun'Shi, after making planetfall, would order for those forces under his command to return to the heart of the Tau Empire, claiming that this journey into the Enclaves was one for him alone to make, although a small number of fire warriors would remain to stand guard over his ship. The Ethereal would make his way to a nearby town designated Colony 23, where he would begin his investigation into Farsight's current location. Soon after this, Aun'Shi would journey to a nearby archaeological dig site that was located within the frozen wastes after learning that Farsight was last seen near its location. It was at this site that the Ethereal would discover a webway gate that was frozen within the ice, which was being studied by the Earth-caste scientist Theovri Gerun. As the Tau attempted to thaw the structure out of the surrounding ice in order to more closely examine it, the webway gate would unexpectedly activate, disgorging a Drukhari raiding party. After telling Gaerun and his fellow scientists Shala and Bentu to flee, Aun'Shi would face off against the Drukhari in combat. Despite managing to fend off the entire raiding party single-handedly for several minutes, the Ethereal would eventually succumb to the effects of a poison blade and fall to unconsciousness, resulting in him being captured and taken through the webway to the realm of Camorra. Here, Aun'Shi would be forced into the life of a gladiator, where he would be coerced into battling deadly creatures, witches, and other imprisoned warriors for the entertainment of the Drukhari. The Ethereal would prove to be an incredibly popular attraction within the arena, where he would come to be known throughout Camorra as Aun'Shi Geis, a title which roughly translates to Blue Fighting Man. Aun'Shi's final fate from here is unknown. So what could have happened to him? The most likely possibility is that Aun'Shi continues to live the life of a gladiator within the Camorran arenas. While Aun'Shi has made it clear that he wishes to no longer participate in such barbaric blood sports, such as by undertaking a hunger strike, as detailed within the novella Aun'Shi, these attempts to end this perpetual cycle of killing would ultimately end in failure, due to his own honourable nature. Shortly after the Ethereal had been taken captive by the Drukhari, Gaerun, Shala, and Bentu will meet the same fate as Aun'Shi. Although, unlike Aun'Shi, the three scientists would not be forced to fight for their lives on a daily basis, but would instead remain as little more than prisoners. As Aun'Shi continued in his attempts to obtain his freedom, his handler, a succubus named Serene, would have the Earthcast taken to the arena's killing floor before offering Aun'Shi the choice of fighting within the arena or his freedom. Serene would then unveil the captured scientists, much to the delight of the other Drukhari in attendance, before unleashing a pack of vicious chimera upon them. Aun'Shi, much like he had done for the fire warriors of Theovash, would selflessly leap to the defense of the other Tau, although during the course of the contest, Shala would be torn apart by the chimera in an attempt to draw the creatures away from its comrades. After the last of these beasts had been slain, the three surviving Tau will be taken back to Aun'Shi's holding cell, where they would rest in preparation for their next fight. Gaerun would lament that Aun'Shi should have chosen his freedom at the cost of their lives, rather than for the three of them to continue living as slaves. Aun'Shi would attempt to reassure the other Tau by stating that it was the solemn duty of an Ethereal to protect his people, as documented with the following quote.
I had thought that very thing. However, I now realize that our duty to one another doesn't end just because we're no longer in the Empire. No matter where we go, the greater good is our strength and shield, especially here. Do not worry, I am on. I will lead and protect you. Always.
Because Gaerun and Bentu are also captives of the Drukhari, Aun'Shi would more than likely continue fighting for the entertainment of the Drukhari to ensure the safety and well-being of his allies. Whether Aun'Shi is indeed still alive at this particular point in time, however, remains an altogether different matter. It is unlikely that Serene would allow Aun'Shi to succumb to the effects of disease or starvation whilst the Ethereal remains in her possession, as the Tau's skill within the arena continues to bring her both immense wealth and social prestige. Indeed, it seems far more likely that the succubus would continue to treat Aun'Shi as, for want of a better term, a prized racehorse in order to maintain her now lavish lifestyle. However, the various arenas and gladiatorial pits throughout Camorra are known to harbour a multitude of dangerous creatures for combatants to test their mettle against. Such foes can range from more bestial monstrosities such as clawed fiends or tyrannid carnifexes to sentient species such as the orcs, humans, and, in some cases, even the warriors of the Adeptus Astartes. With this in mind, it stands to reason that Aun'Shi would one day be forced to face an opponent whose skill at arms or sheer brute strength may be simply far too great for the Ethereal to overcome. The final, albeit least likely possibility, is that Aun'Shi had somehow managed to make his escape from Camorra. While Aun'Shi had certainly attempted to obtain his freedom by simply refusing to fight, the fact that Gayroon and Bentu can now be used to essentially blackmail the Ethereal into fighting would mean that should Aun'Shi and his allies be freed from their imprisonment, their saviors would more than likely come from outside of Camorra itself. Given Aun'Shi's standing as an Ethereal, it would appear reasonable to assume, at least initially, that following his capture by the Drukhari, the Tau Empire would have attempted a rescue mission. After all, following the activation of the Webway Gate upon Arthas Moloch, Gayroon and his team had begun travelling to Colony 23 in order to raise the alarm and call for support from the Fire Caste. Despite this, the Earth Caste's attempt to obtain aid for Aun'Shi would appear to have met with failure, for as detailed within the novella Aun'Shi, the Tau would be forced to accept that they were truly on their own, as detailed with the following passage.
Gayroon, Charla and Bentu hadn't evaded capture after all. They'd never made it back to Colony 23. No one was coming to save him. His life was over.
Admittedly, there is a chance, although an incredibly small one, that Gayroon's team had managed to transmit a message to Colony 23 in order to signal for aid. However, even if such events had transpired, one would need to ask if the Tau themselves would even be able to activate the Webway Gate upon Arthas Moloch, let alone know of a way to obtain entry to Camorra or the Webway, period. This is not to say that the Tau would necessarily choose to abandon Aun'Shi to his fate, as those remaining members of the Earth Caste upon the world may indeed undertake an attempt to reactivate the portal. Alternatively, the Tau Empire, as well as the Farsight Enclaves, may be forced to accept the fact that Aun'Shi may have perished at the whims of the Drukhari, or at the very least, wish he had done so, in order to escape a fate that is potentially worse than death. What do you think? Leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.